If you think heart failure is a chest pain issue, you are walking straight into a death trap. Every day, thousands of seniors are sent home by their doctors with a clean bill of health, while their heart is actually failing in absolute silence. And the proof is sitting on your ankles right now. You have been lied to. For decades, the medical establishment has drilled the same myth into your head, that heart trouble only happens when you feel a crushing weight on your chest or gasping for breath. That is a dangerous, lethal lie. Your chest is merely the victim of a failing pump, but your legs are the crime scene. By the time you feel that tightness in your chest, the damage is often irreversible. But your legs, they have been trying to scream for help for months, maybe years, and your doctor has been trained to ignore every single one of those desperate signals. You go to your appointment, you complain about the swelling, you talk about the aching, you mention the cramps, and what happens? You are handed a prescription for a water pill and told to cut the salt. That is not medical care. That is a cover-up. They are treating the overflow of a sink while the pipe underneath is bursting. They are ignoring the root cause because it's easier to manage your symptoms than to admit the system is failing you. They are not looking at your skin, they are not checking the temperature of your feet, and they are certainly not looking at the rust-colored stains on your shins. They are looking at your charts, they are looking at their watches, and they are looking at the door, waiting for you to leave so they can get to the next patient. And meanwhile, your cardiovascular system is collapsing from the bottom up. This isn't about being paranoid. This isn't about scaring you. This is about survival. If you are over 60, your life expectancy is being decided by whether or not you can read the signs your own body is giving you. You are the only person who lives in your body. You are the only person who feels the cold, the ache, the heaviness, and the strange sensations that come with the sunset. If you don't become the expert on your own physiology, you are going to be a victim of a system that prioritizes speed over your life. You are a human being, not a set of blood pressure numbers on a screen. Today, I am not here to coddle you. I am here to expose the truth. I'm going to show you the 9 physical warning signs, the ticking time bombs, that are appearing on your legs right now. If you have even 2 of these, you are currently in a state of circulatory distress. This isn't a theory. This isn't a suggestion. This is biological reality. If you ignore these signs for 1 more week, you aren't just risking a bad leg day, you are walking straight toward a cardiovascular event that will strip you of your independence and change your life forever. Before we look at these signs, I want to know who is ready to take back control. If you have ever been told by a doctor that your leg issues are just part of aging or normal, I want you to comment the word truth below right now. I want to see how many of you have been gaslit by the very people you trusted to keep you alive. We are going to stop the decline here. We are going to look at the reality that the medical machine refuses to show you. But be warned, once you see these signs, you cannot unsee them. And once you know the truth, you have a choice to make. Either you keep walking the path you're on, or you start fighting for your future tonight. Let's look at the evidence your heart has been trying to show you. Before it's too late. Start the examination of your body right now. Take your thumb and press it firmly into the skin above your ankle bone or directly on your shin. Hold it there for 5 solid seconds, then release. If there is a visible, lingering depression, an indentation that stays there like a dent in memory foam before slowly popping back out, that is not normal swelling. That is pitting edema. It is the hallmark sign that your heart is failing to circulate blood back up to the top, and the fluid is trapped in your tissues because the pressure in your veins is too high for your pump to overcome. It is an overflow tank for a system that is failing, and every single day that you ignore this, you are walking around with a fluid surplus that your heart is desperately trying to clear but can't. Look at your lower legs for shiny skin syndrome. Does the skin look tight? Does it look thin, stretched, and almost glossy or polished, as if you've applied oil to it when you haven't? That happens when fluid builds up under the skin to such a degree that it stretches the epidermis until it loses its natural wrinkled texture. When the skin becomes shiny, it means the pressure beneath it is extreme and the subcutaneous tissues are completely saturated. Your heart is struggling to move that volume, and the skin is the only thing containing the pressure. If your skin looks buffed and shined, you are at a critical stage of fluid congestion that needs immediate intervention. If you are over 60 and you notice that the hair on your lower legs is thinning out or disappearing entirely, do not think for a second that this is just the aging process. Hair follicles are biologically expensive to maintain. They need a constant, high-quality, oxygenated supply of blood to stay alive and grow. When your circulation starts to fail, your body makes a subconscious triage decision. It stops wasting precious blood on non-essential, decorative things like hair growth to save that oxygen for your heart, your brain, and your kidneys. Hair loss on the shins is the body's way of saying it is starving for blood flow. It is a silent red flag for peripheral vascular deficiency, which is the twin brother of heart failure. Look for brownish, rust-colored patches on your skin, typically around the ankles or lower calves. This is called stasis dermatitis, and it is a terrifying sign of long-term failure. Here is what is happening. The blood that should be heading back to your heart is pooling and stagnating in your legs. The pressure becomes so great that it forces tiny red blood cells to leak out of your capillaries and into the surrounding tissue. As those cells break down, the iron inside them is released and oxidizes right under your skin, literally rusting, just like metal left out in the rain. That color is iron. If your legs look like they've been sprayed with a light mist of brown paint, your heart has been struggling to move blood effectively for a very long time. Feel your feet and toes. Are they constantly, uncomfortably cold, even when it's warm inside your house? Heart failure means the pump is weak. If the pump is weak, the blood doesn't have the kinetic energy to reach the end of the line, which is your toes. When your feet are cold enough to keep you awake or force you to wear socks to bed every single night, you have a major circulation bottleneck. You are not just naturally cold-footed. You are being denied the heat and the nutrients that come from a robust, circulating blood supply. This is a sign that your peripheral perfusion is failing. I know many of you wake up at 3 a.m. with a Charlie horse, so painful it makes you gasp for air or cry out. Most people blame hydration, or they eat a banana because someone told them it's a potassium deficiency, but often it is oxygen starvation. Your muscles are screaming for blood flow, and because you aren't moving, the heart can't overcome gravity to get them what they need. It is a desperate chemical signal from your muscles that they are running on empty. It is not a muscle problem, it is a heart delivery problem. Are your veins becoming more prominent, twisting, or bulging in ways they never did before? When your heart struggles to pull blood back up, the veins in your legs become overloaded. They distend, they lose their elasticity, and they start to twist. If your legs look like a map of a river system that is about to flood, the pressure inside your circulatory system is too high. Those veins are screaming under the tension of a pump that cannot pull the volume back home. Try this test. Lie down on your bed and prop your legs up in the air, higher than your heart. Wait 1 minute. Now look at your feet. If your feet turn completely white or ghostly pale within that minute, that is a massive, immediate warning sign. Gravity was helping you get blood to your feet when you were standing. The moment you take gravity away, your heart isn't strong enough to push blood against the height of your chest. If your feet turn white when they are up, your heart is in serious, serious trouble. It is failing to maintain the pressure gradient required to sustain your lower extremities. Finally, notice the non-healing sore. A small scratch on your ankle, a bug bite, or a minor scrape that won't go away. A wound that stays open for weeks. Your body cannot repair the damage because it cannot get the nutrient-rich, oxygenated blood to that specific spot to trigger the healing cascade. A wound that won't heal is a wound that is being starved to death. It is a local death of tissue because the heart is too weak to fuel the repair. I know looking at your own legs with this level of scrutiny is uncomfortable. I know it's scary. But this is the difference between a life of independence and a life being managed by a pharmacy. The medical system will wait for you to have a full-blown heart attack before they take your leg issues seriously. They will wait for the collapse. You cannot wait. If you have these signs, you need to be the one to go to your primary care physician, and you need to be specific. Do not let them brush you off. You need to say, I am concerned about my circulation and heart function. I want an echocardiogram and a vascular assessment. Do not settle for take a water pill. Do not settle for elevate your legs. You have to be the advocate for your own life. These warning signs are the heart's way of whispering to you before it eventually has to scream. If you have identified these signs, if you see the pitting edema, the shiny skin, the rust-colored stains, or if you are waking up in the middle of the night with your muscles seizing in agony, I want you to take a deep, stabilizing breath. Do not spiral into panic. Panic is a physiological state that releases a flood of adrenaline and cortisol, two hormones that raise your heart rate and increase the workload on your already struggling heart. That is exactly the opposite of what you want right now. The reason I showed you these 9 warning signs is not to terrify you into a state of paralysis, but to move you into a state of intelligent, calculated action. You now possess the critical information that most people spend years ignoring until it is far too late. You are no longer in the dark. Now we need a blueprint for survival. We are going to build a protocol to reduce the load on your heart, mechanically assist your circulation, and start protecting your cardiovascular system starting tonight. This is not about passive management. It is about taking active command. You need to deeply understand the concept of your second heart. Your heart is one pump, yes, but your calf muscles are the second pump. In a perfectly healthy circulatory system, every time you take a step, your calf muscles contract and squeeze the deep veins in your legs, physically pushing the blood back up toward your heart against the relentless force of gravity. This is what we call the muscle pump. If you are sedentary, if you spend most of your day sitting, or if you walk with a short, shuffling gait, that pump is broken. You are relying entirely on your primary heart to pull blood up from your feet, which is an impossible task for a heart that is already failing. The most effective medicine you can take is the calf pump protocol. If you have swelling, if you have aching, if you have any of the signs we discussed, you need to stimulate your calf muscles. While you are sitting watching TV, perform ankle pumps. Flex your feet up and down as far as they will go, 50 times every hour. Do not stop. This is a rhythmic mechanical contraction that acts like a manual pump, clearing the stagnation from your lower legs. If you are able to walk, walk with a purposeful heel-to-toe stride. When you strike with your heel and push off with your toes, you engage the entire kinetic chain of your lower leg. It is the most natural, effective way to drain the fluid your heart is struggling to move. Equally important is addressing the fluid paradox. Doctors almost always tell you to cut the salt. And while excess sodium is an issue, the real problem is a lack of mineral balance. If you cut salt but you are deficient in magnesium and potassium, you are not solving the fluid issue. You are just creating a different kind of imbalance. Magnesium is essential for muscle relaxation. It prevents those midnight cramps we talked about. Potassium is the natural counterweight to sodium. It signals your kidneys to release the excess fluid rather than holding on to it. Instead of just low salt, I want you to focus on high mineral. Focus on dark leafy greens, avocados, nuts, and seeds. Feed your body the minerals that regulate the water pressure inside your cells. If your minerals are balanced, your body manages fluid much more effectively than if you simply try to starve it of salt. Another critical step is the elevation protocol. Most people think that putting their feet up on a footstool is elevating. That is not enough. To drain the fluid against gravity, your feet must be higher than your heart. It is simple physics. If your feet are lower than your heart, the heart is working against gravity. If they are level, it is neutral. If they are above the heart, gravity finally works for you. I want you to commit to drainage time. 20 minutes twice a day, lie on your back and prop your legs up on a stack of pillows. Get your feet higher than your chest. You will feel the fluid begin to move. You will feel the pressure in your legs start to dissipate. This is the fastest way to relieve the acute strain on your circulatory system and give your heart a much-needed rest. When it comes to support, you must consider compression. But here is the catch. Most people buy the cheap, flimsy compression stockings from the local pharmacy. Those do almost nothing. They provide uneven pressure and often cut off circulation behind the knee, which makes the problem worse. If you are going to use compression, you need to be fitted for medical-grade stockings that provide graduated compression. That means the pressure is tightest at the ankle and gradually loosens as it moves up the leg. This gradient creates a squeezing effect that forces the blood upward. If you have any of the warning signs we discussed, talk to your doctor about getting a prescription for medical-grade compression. It is a simple tool, but it is effectively an external sleeve for your failing pump. Finally, you must break the chair trap. The chair is the enemy of the senior heart. When you sit in a chair, you are bending your hips and your knees at 90-degree angles. This creates a mechanical bottleneck in your groin and behind your knees, restricting blood flow even further. Every 30 minutes, you must stand up. You don't have to go for a run. Just stand, reach for the ceiling, stretch your hips, and walk to the next room. You must break the seated stasis that allows the blood and fluid to pool in your lower extremities. If you spend 12 hours a day sitting, your heart is working 12 hours a day in a state of maximum inefficiency. I want to be very clear, this is not about curing heart failure. This is about mechanical and nutritional management. If your heart is struggling, it needs you to be its partner. It needs you to assist the circulation. It needs you to reduce the resistance. It needs you to provide the minerals that regulate pressure. When you do these things, you are literally offloading the burden from your heart. You are giving it the space to operate without being constantly overwhelmed. You have the knowledge now. You have the 9 warning signs that the system ignored, and you have the protocol to start assisting your own circulation. I know the temptation is to keep going to the doctor, keep taking the water pill, and keep hoping it gets better, but that path is not working for you. You have to take the reins. You have to be the manager of your own vascular health. If this video reached you at the right moment, if you looked at your legs and realized for the first time that your body was trying to give you a warning, please share this with someone you love. Send this to your spouse, your friend, or your sibling. We are building a community here of people who are tired of being treated like a list of symptoms and who are ready to become the experts on their own health. Subscribe to this channel, turn on the notifications, and join us in this mission to reclaim our independence and our strength, regardless of our age. Before you go, I have one final challenge for you. Leave a comment below and tell me, which of these 9 signs have you noticed on your own legs, and which of the 5 steps in our protocol are you going to start tonight? I read every single response. Your story is the fuel for our next research project. Take care of yourself, respect the signals your body is sending you, and keep fighting for your future. You have so much more life to live, and you deserve to live it with a heart that is supported, not just medicated. I will see you in the next one. Stay sharp, stay informed, and above all, keep moving. The window for intervention is always open, but you are the one who has to choose to walk through it. Go out there and take control.